Yes, very pleased. It was different conditions today, obviously, from the first match that I played in the night session. I didn't know much about my opponent. I never saw him play, so that could have been a difficulty at the start in order to figure out what his game plan is. But I've played well, from the start to the end.
Novak, what happened in that point early in the third set where you lobbed it back to your opponent?
Trust me, I still don't know what happened. I mean, I thought that I've heard line umpire say out, and then I stopped, and I got the ball back. He got the ball back, and I let it bounce twice, and yeah, it was a funny situation. Never happened before, but it's interesting.
Inga? Novak, what are your thoughts on Kim's retirement? You always seem to have a fun relationship with her.
Yeah, she's great. We participated together in many of the charity events and kids' days here in the States and Australia as well this year. And well, she is one of the greats of the sports, and she won 3 titles here and played in #1 of the world, and had a great rivalries with the Williams sisters and Justine. And I think she took Belgium tennis to another level. So it's definitely it's going to be a loss for women's tennis to not have her around. But I think she felt that it was a time for her to retire, and we have another one from yesterday, obviously Andy, and so it's interesting to see. It's a bit surprising, but that's how the life goes.
Novak, if you could switch gears and go back to last year's in the semi and the shot that you were returning serve. Could you just reflect on that? Was there an element of luck? Did you just go for it? How did it?
I went for it, and it brings me the best memories from last year's semifinal, and obviously it came in the right moment. I could have not asked for more. I mean, at that point, was two match points down, and I mean, I anticipated well and hit the ball well. So luck is always definitely welcome and needed at that stage. But I don't think I didn't hit the ball, and I just anticipated well and hit it in a great timing.
And can you say that in a way it was an extension of the great season you had and that belief that was there?
Yeah, well, when you're winning many matches and and you have great 6-7 months of the year, and you win titles and major events, then your confidence is rising, and you definitely consider hitting those shots at that stage more than when you don't feel that confident on the court.
And if I could finally ask, is that the single most important shot in your career?
Well, under the circumstances, and I probably would rate it right at the top. Yes.
No, but you mentioned Andy retiring. You're obviously some way off, hopefully, of doing so. But it's a reminder how quickly a sports career can come and go. So they just remind you, if you need any reminding, that you've got to seize the opportunity when you have it, which is obviously right now for you. And maybe you're having a great season, but it's so hard to emulate the season you had last year. Does it just sort of show that when you've got an opportunity, you've got to take it?
Well, when you have the opportunity, you obviously do your best in order to take it and seize it, as you said. But sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. That's sport. You win and you lose, but the sport makes you a better competitor, a better person, and you learn that the hard work pays off in the end, and the dedication and professionalism, and that's why we are all here. That's why we are competing. We have a big love for this sport, and this situation just shows that how quickly everything can turn around. But I've listened to his press conference yesterday, and I admired his career, and he was one of the greatest competitors around, and probably biggest serve ever. And I'm sure that himself is proud of his career, and all American tennis should be. I mean, definitely he made a history in our sport, and I guess he felt that it's time for him to move on, to stop playing tennis and to do something else. And the great thing that that he said yesterday is that he wants to continue on his legacy of playing tennis and try to transfer that knowledge to somebody that is coming up that needs help from such a champion. So that's great. You want to kind of share the love for the sport and your knowledge and experiences with somebody else that wants to become like you.
Novak, in terms of your motivation, I know you've been asked variations on this before, but obviously you had such a legendary streak last year and achieved the number one in the world. And this year, Roger's been researched and returned to number one. You obviously number two. Talk about just what you could take out of last year. Can it sometimes be a burden in that you set such a high mark for yourself, or is it all positive? Is it all that I've done it before and I can try to do it again, or?
Well, I've never had in my career such a long streak of victories. 6 months without losing a match. I mean, it was incredible. To be part of that, and it was very difficult for myself to ask for another 6 months like that. And maybe that's once in a lifetime that you get to experience such a great season. But yes, I've maybe set the very high standards and expectations for myself, and so 2012 comparing to 2011 isn't as successful, titles-wise, but I feel physically better than I did last season. So for me, that's a positive, and I always try to take the best out of all these experiences and out of that season. And for me, the positive also is that knowing that I can play that well gives me a lot of confidence, and I improved on different kinds of surfaces. I won my first Wimbledon trophy, and grass obviously is not my most preferred surface, but it opened the doors for me, and that surface, and gave my confidence level a great boost. So I'm going to try to carry that on as I've done this year.
Do you feel re-energized when you're out there, in Arthur Ashe, where you've had the great success of last year, particularly the last two matches?
Yeah, I mean, winning 3 majors in 1 year was a tremendous achievement for me, and could not have asked for more at that point. I mean, in the last 5 years, I've been reaching at least semifinals here in U.S. Open. So I love this place. I love the energy and the crowd, and it's just suitable to my style of the game. Hardcourt is my most preferred surface. So I really want to do well here, as all the other players who are taking a part in this tournament.
Just English?
You talked about how the match was difficult conditions with the heat being as high as it was. It's important to win quickly, so you weren't out there a while.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I want to spend as less time as possible on the court. I mean, I've played a lot of tennis, a lot of matches through the course of this summer, and had also 2 long weeks in hardcourts in Toronto and Cincinnati. So the lack of matches is not something that is worrying me. Actually, I just want to focus and try to win in straight sets in every match that I play on.
And what was the dance about?
It was about the song. It was on the Kids' Day, so it's quite got into my mind. It's quite catchy, so every time I hear it, it gets good energy.